Beloved ones of the light, today I take the opportunity of drawing your attention to the recent experiences of some of the students. We from the interior of the earth are cooperating with the great cosmic light and with that which is on the surface of the earth, to hasten the release of the greatest possible perfection for the earth. In the experience of the people in Washington, D.C., who saw the sinister cloud dissolved and consumed, the ray from underneath came from within the earth. If through your attention you understand this cooperative activity of all the forces of life, you will understand how the most gigantic activity of the forces of light has been focused upon the earth at this time. It is the most concentrated focus projected forth since the Second Golden Age, when such great perfection reigned everywhere. Mankind have drawn away from the light and their I am presence voluntarily, and they must go back of their own volition. With this enormous assistance which is being given, what would have required centuries may be accomplished in just a few years. 256. Must understand, in your individual lives, as well as the life of the earth and the nations, that the light of the presence, or the greater expansion of it which you call the cosmic light, is coming into action in the earth in your outer experience. Your airplane propeller and fan are perhaps the most logical explanations of the inner forces acting. When you spin them at a certain speed, you intensify not only the action but the invisibility. When they go at such rapid speed that you do not see them with the physical sight, still you are conscious of their effect and activity. In the activity which is coming forth at this time, you will not always see the power that is acting, but you will see the outer effect of its manifestation. I urge all of you, especially those who are intense, please do not allow your attention to focus upon any definite outer manifestation. Just go on in your application, letting the wisdom of the presence direct the manifestation. I say this for a reason, because we have seen among the students those who, just because it would be such a great joy, really long in their feelings for the presence of the ascended masters or some manifestation of unusual power. That, of course, in itself is quite all right, but the trouble is, dear ones, a dividing of your attention. Let the wisdom of your presence within bring that all about in its own good time. You, a being of free will, have drawn about yourself these limitations, which individuals are experiencing today. The imperative thing for all is to focus their attention upon the presence, which will allow the dissolving and consuming of every discordant creation you have drawn about you, or any kind of creation which is less than perfection. This must be cleared away before it would be wise to release some other things, which will be released. Your discordant creation must be consumed before the revealing of the presence of the ascended masters can take place. Oh, how ready they are to come forth! As you have heard so many times, their wisdom knows best. They will not jeopardize the great achievement of today for the satisfying even of blessed earnest ones in some things, which would otherwise be easily and readily brought forth. Just be patient in whatever you individually would like. First, allow the great activity to be focused for the protection and blessing of America, for that is the most imperative need today. Remember, we were driven into the interior of the earth by the discord on its surface. We were once on the surface of the earth as part of humanity in ages past, just as you are today, but we were driven into the interior by the invading hordes whom we did not care to slaughter, so we withdrew out of their reach. In our civilization within the interior of the earth there is no discord, because our people are trained from childhood to be harmonious. We have means of maintaining harmony. If there be anything discordant in the past life stream of the individual, we look down the life stream and, with the permission of the individual, dissolve and consume all that is undesirable which might have been generated on the surface of the earth. Beloved ones, there are so many wonderful things which mankind will come to know, and such information will give great joy. Yet humanity's most imperative need today is to hold each one's attention upon the mighty I Am presence. Then its power may flow forth to do what is required at this time. Afterwards, just think of it. You can be taught to come and go from your body, just the same and just as easily as you pass from this room into the next. Leto has performed that service for Rex, Bob, Nada, and Pearl. It is only because mankind has not understood all these inner powers, which are also natural and are the real ones, that they think such activities unusual. The outer experience of mankind is but a make-believe existence. It is not the real. As you keep your attention to your presence and with great firm determination keep calling its power into action, then all human accumulation will quickly be dissolved, all accumulation of whatever is undesirable will be dissolved. As the power of the presence flows through, individuals will be lifted so they can come and go naturally from the body. Then you are free. Even as you sit here today, if Leto were to come into the room in her tangible body and take you one by one, release you from the body and send you forth, you would be able to do it just as naturally as you go from one room to another and from one home to another. All of these powers are natural. Please feel that. Then it will be so much easier for you to come into their action and use. The trouble with mankind has been, because a subject touched upon something they had not heard of, the human immediately sets up a barrier and either says or feels, "I doubt that. I don't believe that is so." Immediately, so far as that individual is concerned, it shuts the door to him from having further information concerning the subject, which might be touched upon at this time. Ofttimes the individual shuts the door to other things which would be a natural activity of his own being, coming to him. I tell you, there are tens of thousands of people in your America today whose light is very great and who have had previous understanding, as is the case with many of you. Therefore, now notice this carefully, they experienced possibly something tragic in the outer life, which caused them to turn away from this light. That experience is still having its effect upon them. It is why some people doubt so tragically. They do not know what the cause of the doubt is, and it is why so many people use your ordinary expression, "Show me." Well, you might show individuals, I mean the doubting Thomases, you might show them the presence of an ascended being, and before 24 hours were over their heads, they would swear they had been hypnotized and it was not so. It is not the real individual who would do that, but it is the accumulation from past centuries of doubts and fears. Just because they fear a thing, they doubt it. If you were to look back into the life stream of individuals who have used the expression of doubt, you would find back of their doubt is fear of the thing they doubt. This is why, today in the attention to the presence, all these qualities of mankind are swept out of existence. You are fortunate indeed who are freeing yourselves from all these things, because after all, dear, blessed people, you are the ones who are to be benefited. Unless you make earnest call to your I am presence and stand by it, you will be affected by the doubts, fears and conditions of mankind about you, and if you allow them to prevent your victory, well, then you alone would be to blame. That is the way with all mankind who have doubts and fears. They think that they are performing some service, when it is but their own creation preventing them from the freedom which in each one of their hearts they really crave. In our assistance, oh, how great is the joy! Sometimes I have longed to bring you here, to visit us and see in this great wonderful blaze of light its great calm stillness and peace and the soft white light which has neither night or day. In it, all is a great calm peace, free from the agitation and turmoil at the surface of the earth. Remember, our service to the earth is quite wonderful because we are able to release from within a radiance which is helping tremendously to dissolve and consume the astral or psychic world. I notice today many whose attention has been upon Astrea, a being who is rendering the most amazing service to the surface of the earth. He is not only dissolving and consuming all the qualities and conditions that make the astral or psychic world, which is next to the surface of the earth, but he is consuming those same qualities and conditions also for the individuals who are making such earnest and intense call for that to be done. Astrea, or Amosis, and the Archangel Michael are rendering a service to the earth which one day you will all see, know, and understand how very great it has been. Rejoice, beloved ones, in all that is going forth. Even since your arrival in New York, how marvelous the blessing has been. Only the great ones alone know. Just rejoice and do not be disturbed or affected by the outer appearance world. It really has no power to affect individuals who will say to that appearance and stand by it, you have no power. In the knowledge of my mighty I am presence you cannot just say that physically and have the desired effect, but you can, in the knowledge of your presence, as the one speaking. Say to all human appearances, you have no power, and they immediately cease to have power, so far as your individual life is concerned. Try to feel that always. I think I should perhaps call your attention today to the privilege you have to call forth more energy when you want to rest at night. If your time is cut short by the needed service of the outer world, you can have the rest in 2 hours which you ordinarily have in 8, if you but consciously call your mighty I Am presence into action to produce that blessing for you. Do you not see how your presence answers every call? Then be careful what you do in the morning when you first awaken. Through old habit your attention begins to contemplate conditions of the outer world. If you will take your stand and as soon as you become conscious, focus your attention on your mighty I Am presence, the affairs of the outer world will not rush into your consciousness and begin to act so quickly. It will give you time to call your presence to charge your feeling world with its direction, wisdom, energy, harmony, and perfection for the days. Requirement. Then you will have stabilized yourself for the day. Dear people, you can do this so easily, but it means you must do it consciously. Dear people, you can do this so easily, but it means you must do it consciously. You turned away from the presence consciously, and you must do these things in your return to the presence consciously. That is the need of mankind today. The presence does not act independently of your conscious call. I should qualify that statement just a little in this respect. When you have continued earnestly with great determination to call your mighty I Am presence into action, then you gain a momentum of the power of your presence and draw it forth into the activity of the outer world. You will find innumerable things being done with what you call the involuntary action, but that means you have established a momentum by your conscious call to the mighty I Am presence. These things sound very simple in worded expression, but they contain a power indescribable within them. Beloved ones, as you understand these laws and apply them, every step is definite, powerful and permanent. Every call you make is answered. Suppose today you started in with a definite call for some specific purpose, and you keep that up 3 times a day in regular succession. Every time you call, you have raised yourself 1 step nearer your achievement. That is real, that is permanent. Everything you do in the call to your mighty I Am presence becomes a permanent thing. Every inch you gain in the call to your presence remains. You will never slide back from that point, because you cannot. This is a wholly different activity for human beings in their application than from the old metaphysical standpoint, because by mental power you repel a thing, but that does not mean it is consumed. You might be free of it yourself, or it might come back, but in the accomplishment of your mighty I Am presence it is done forever, so far as your own embodiment is concerned or your own achievement. It is also consumed from the atmosphere of earth. Today the great ones are so joyous in having drawn the pillar of light and the unfed flame into the home of this blessed one and her family. Her heart is so wonderful, so firm to the light and so unyielding to all else. Why do you suppose certain individuals are drawn together? Some of you will remember in the West not so long ago a certain group was drawn together. Today, again a group has been drawn together, because these individuals belong together. We cannot take the time today, but perhaps sometime in the future we shall tell you how you rendered a great service to the light while you were together. Then, you will all rejoice and feel very much closer than you do even now. Why? Why is it that out of the millions of people in America, certain individuals should be drawn to this blessed one's home? Today? Do you not see it is a great law acting? Things do not just happen, for a great inner law is always acting. Try to feel such rejoicing in all that is being done, and to any appearance of the outer world, be so happy in looking that appearance straight in the face and saying to it, you have no power to limit or affect mankind. Not only do you say that for yourself and feel it, but to every discordant thing and appearance in the outer world, say, you have no power to affect, limit, or disturb mankind again. As you feel the power in your decree, you will put forth the assistance which is needed. Oh, just think of it. You are in this radiance. It is becoming more and more natural to you, but think of those who are so far out of our radiance that they do not even imagine what it means. They need our assistance. Oh, how greatly they need it. Never be discouraged or disturbed if someone does not accept this understanding. At any time individuals fail to temporarily accept it, just change the subject and call their mighty I Am presence into action in its full power, to take command of that mind and body, produce its perfection and hold its dominion there. Such a call will render a great, great service. The human cannot govern these things, but the mighty I Am presence called into action will always do it. You remember the experience in Miami, Florida, most of you have heard it, when a lady came into the class and was so incensed at Mrs. Ballard's reading from the manuscript, that she rushed out of the place condemning the messengers and the work. This good messenger came along and someone told him about it. Ordinarily he would have said, God bless her, and have forgotten it, but instead, he said, mighty I Am presence, seize her and bring her back. She came back and became a very blessed student. Sometimes there are certain individuals where a sudden dynamic call to the presence would release them. It is not always the case. However, you have no idea just what anyone's presence will do for anyone if you call it forth into action. That is why I am bringing this point to your attention. You have no idea what anyone's presence will do, even if the outer does refuse acceptance for the moment. Your intense, dynamic call to the presence opens the door, and how do you know but what the next hour will release the individual completely into the understanding of the presence and this light. Today, in the fullness of this great love and harmony, I congratulate the blessed hostess on the great earnest intensity with which she has drawn the radiance into the home. It has been the joy of the great ones today to assist in amplifying this radiance, and in using a permanent activity which will forever continue to expand to give her greater happiness, greater assistance, greater consciousness of her own dominion in her call to the mighty I Am presence to produce the results she requires. While you were in the dining room, each one of you was enveloped in the particular radiance which is required for you individually. It will continue until you have absorbed every particle of it into the atomic structure of your body. Others have been rendering to you their service. Today, I shall render mine. Maybe it is not so great as some, but still, it is helpful. It has been my joy to enfold you, each one, in this radiance, so you may absorb it and let it do its perfect work in the atomic structure of your body. Many of you have been calling this forth, so again your call has been answered. Of course you understand that in all our assistance, the amplification of your call to your mighty I Am presence is also acting. I rejoice in how still you are able to become. Do you know how stillness really is produced? It can only come by the quieting of your emotional body and feeling world. When you are able to enter into the stillness which is here now, you will know that you are gaining control and mastery over your feeling world. It is the feeling world that gets agitated and makes you restless. Take firm command of it, and every time it wants to wiggle around, say, now settle right down here and be quiet. Soon you will gain such mastery that you will have no difficulty whatsoever. If you choose to just sit without moving a muscle for hours, you will be able to do it. That is the gaining of mastery over the atomic structure, which has run riot in every conceivable feeling. Is it not strange that mankind have been so governed by the sense of feeling in the outer world, when beating each heart is the great calm sea of the eternal silence? Only in the great mountains does the outer world find the great silence so naturally expressed. There you can sit and feel absolute stillness, and as you speak, your voice will come back to you from the distance. Today in this room you have entered into the great silence, which the silent watcher established for you last night. Will you feel it, let it enfold you, grasp the atomic structure of your form, and hold it within our great silence, until every vibratory action is stilled? Then, by your power of qualification, call your mighty I Am presence to sustain it forever. At any moment you wish to re-enter this wondrous state of silence, you are able to do so. I call it to your attention today. Please watch it. It has thus been established. When you wish to again return into this silence, you will find you can do it instantly, sometimes out of very great seeming agitation. Try to accept this in the fullness of its power, and let it act for you. Does it sound unkind to say to the human form, you helpless creature? You who have taken so much credit to yourself, are without power of action, except from the presence of life? True it is. This atomic structure is helpless without the ray of light and energy which gives it life in action. In this stream of life is all intelligence, all power, all activity of achievement. It is not limited. Then, do you not see how not only your freedom from limitations can be obtained quickly, but even your ascension? There is no outer reason. This stream of light is the one who performs that service for you. It is all-wise and all-powerful. Why not have your ascension? Try to feel how practical all these magnificent things are, even the ascension, the goal of all life. I mean, so far as your outer, physical life is concerned, it is the goal of all life. Of course, you go on and on and on, in ever-expanding magnificent activity. You who are sitting in this room, perhaps far sooner than you dream, will be wielding power which today seems so incredible to you, so much so that it seems impossible. Yet I say, with any one of you there is nothing impossible, even today, in the power of your mighty I Am presence, released into action. Try to feel it, let it have full power and sway. Let it have dominion. Let its glory flood you and all your world. I thank you, beloved Lotus, for your recent call to me. Remember, the light is taking its dominion upon the earth. Try to feel and rejoice, all of you, in the fullness of all that is before you. Oh, you are just in the beginning as yet. Glories you cannot conceive of are before you in the great calm peace within, which enables the power of the presence to flow forth at your call, unqualified by any imperfection. It will flood forth so quickly to fill your body with health, your world with peace, harmony, and the perfection of the presence, releasing every good thing that you require. The Great Ones wish me to convey their love and blessing to each one of you. Feel this day a second step in the great victory gained. May I say before closing, to our beloved hostess, that I knew your beloved son in the long past, and in his journey I shall ofttimes be with him. He was in our civilization at the time we entered into the interior of the earth, so I knew him quite well. That is why I love to come to your home today and leave with you, your family and all, my love and blessings, with its enfolding, expanding, protecting radiance and glory. I trust by his attention being called to me, that he will ofttimes be conscious of my presence. That will enable me to do many things which I should like to do for him. With the love and blessing of the Great Ones, we enfold you now in their eternal, ever-perfecting presence and activity. May each blessed one of you be blessed with the fullness of the infinite power of light. I say to you, beloved Lotus, what a marvelous thing it is to broadcast to the world the power of light, because it is the incoming power of the world. It is the power, incoming power of America. Every blessed one's call has been intensified in your acknowledgement of your mighty I Am presence since yesterday. So enter into a greater and greater joy and intensity in your call, the limitless legions of light sweep across the face of the earth. And all human darkness disappears, that is a clarion call which goes to the uttermost powers of light. Perhaps no other call for the need today is so great as that. Why? Because all activity within the earth or upon its surface must be directed by wisdom and intelligence. Therefore, in the realm of the activity of the cosmic light, the legions of light means the great ascended masters, the great cosmic beings, the great cosmic masters and legions of light combined. It means that the great intelligence and wisdom of the universe has come into action, to direct this mighty power of light unto its perfection for the earth. Will you not feel it, and each time you make this call individually or otherwise, feel and see those great powers sweeping from the west to the east? Notice how everything is reversed. Formerly you would have expected the sweeping from the east to the west. Today the great legions are sweeping from the west to the east, sweeping back the war clouds, holding them within their own creation until they can be dissolved and annihilated. So, we thank you, beloved ones, for this privilege and joy today. May you feel its ever-enfolding, expanding, and blessing activity to each one. We thank you.